Dallas Representative Jasmine Crockett saying she would pursue an impeachment inquiry into President Trump.
Crockett is aiming to be the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee as she doubles down on her criticism of the president. Here she is on Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whitley. Let's watch.
Let's say you were elected to ranking member and the Democrats take the House and you become chair of that committee. Would you pursue impeachment?
I would absolutely at least do an inquiry. Absolutely.
Crockett claims that Republicans tell her they like her. What? Let's watch.
Where I've had Republicans walk up to me and tell me how much they like me. Tell me
No,
that they
you
don't.
haven't. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
You'd be surprised. Oh, yeah.
This is what Crockett said about her 2028 presidential ambitions. Take a look.
Your name is showing up on polling for 2028. Do you have aspirations to lead your party or run for a national office?
No.
I think Republicans do like her. She is meeting, when they go low, we go high. No, she's meeting them right on the ground. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you want to play games? I'm going to meet you. I'm going to be rude. I'm going to meet you right there. And I think that, Republicans who are engaging and, supporting this type of behavior from the top level of our government should certainly support Jasmine Crockett and all the things that she does when she's outspoken, to say the least.
Yes, I think they like her in the sense that they liked very much, AOC a couple years ago when she would generate more headlines, more fodder for conservative media, websites, that kind of thing. That's what they like about her. She's going to pursue another impeachment inquiry. Wonderful. There's just going to be tons of that, I guess. Conservatives, Trump people probably would love to have him under attack again because that is when he is at his most popular among the base. He, in fact, consolidated control of the Republican Party despite his loss in 2020, specifically because of the efforts to actually put him in jail, to prosecute him for election-related stuff and other things. That is what rallied all the Republicans back to his side. If none of that had ever happened, he might not have been the nominee. So they're keep them coming. That's the attitude.
Look, I agree with you. I think holding leaders accountable is appropriate. Like she wants to look into the Qatar jet that he was given, which I said we should raise an eyebrow to. But I also know that even though I love Jasmine Crockett, like firing up his base in this way is not effective. It's a bad idea, especially. So I agree with you when Democrats don't have a full strategy for the midterms and the next election season. This is not what they want to spend another 3 years.
They're really good at lawfare. They're really bad at winning elections.
And just like I tell President Trump, the strategy can't be to blame your predecessor and constantly blame Biden. I don't think that Democrats should waste any more time trying to find a reason to blame Trump or put him in jail, or we should really
got to beat him.
Yeah, you got to just got to figure out how to beat him. And I think you have just to consider also broad appeal in your messaging. So part of the argument that a lot of conservatives are making is that the Democratic Party is swaying and they're taking the working class voter. And while I don't agree with that totally, I think that some people are just tired of having these arguments specifically about Trump and about certain issues that don't directly affect their pocketbooks and wallets. And so while we just saw that study on the economy and how everyone's doing, I think that's a great place to focus with like some real solutions and actually talking to people like in Dallas or in local communities and seeing what they want and gathering some real data on that as opposed to another impeachment inquiry on President Trump. Because I can almost guarantee that most people that I know on both sides of the aisle do not want to see this happen again, do not want to see the time and resources of our government spent that way. And so I think she needs to be mindful outside of what she might want, that there's something else that the Democratic Party is looking for.
Absolutely. This is the kind of thing, well, they're in a difficult position because there are some ardent Democratic liberal partisans who are like, why are we not fighting? Why is our party not, making legal efforts? Why are we not? They can't host committee meetings because they don't control Congress. They can't do subpoena stuff. But if they were to retake Congress, retake the House in the midterms as is possible, then they could do that kind of inquiries again. That's what ardent liberal partisans want. But I don't think the swing voters, the moderate, middle ground, winnable voters, they don't seem to be motivated by, oh, you're telling me Donald Trump did something wrong and you're going to investigate him? There's not a voter left on earth who has not already confronted that reality, contended with it, and made up their mind about it. I just don't believe you can win more people to the Democratic cause by pointing out, even if you passionately believe it and you think you have evidence, here are the couple actions I think Trump has taken that are criminal or impeachable or whatever it is, and really double down on that, and you're going to convince people to vote for Democrats. This has been tested. It doesn't work.
And
it just doesn't work.
I think that most of the country, even though we exaggerate, and social media does a great job at exaggerating the thoughts of the extreme feelings on both sides, I think that most people are somewhere in the middle and decide, they may vote Republican, they may vote Democrat all the time, but they fall somewhere in the middle about Trump's criminal past, or they would prefer to have had a different president. Polls showed us that they would prefer.
They don't like it, but they know that everybody's corrupt.
Right, but once they got to the point, they're like, if we went through this whole election season and all you guys talked about is Trump's past and everything, that the reason why he shouldn't be president, I want you to run on something as opposed to I'm not Trump. That worked for Biden the first time. What are you running on? I think there's strategic considerations for the party that have to be made on what the messaging is, and specifically focusing on actually having real effect, which would be in the midterms. If they take control of Congress, then they can have a different conversation on what's next, but the immediate conversation should not be trying to impeach a man that won't be president again in 3 years anyway. There'll be an entire new set and new wave. As for Jasmine Crockett wanting to run for president, her name has come up multiple times as the leader of the party in this new way, even the dark woke term that conservatives love to bring up about the fact that she kind of is meeting fire with fire, and that's their answer to President Trump. I think if she's going to take
meeting fire with like gratuitous insults,
and so is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's not the leader of the Republican Party.
Yeah, but she's leading it with the commentary, and so they're saying dark woke is meeting her there, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have somebody who's running for president doing that, and I would not like to see somebody else who runs for president on either side behaving in the ways that Trump behaves sometimes.
At least if Marjorie Taylor Greene was in charge, you would actually have conservative opposition to the big, beautiful bill. She and Thomas Massie, and just like they're almost the only two, have pointed out that they are failing to implement the Trump vision, the government spending cuts, by passing this bill. I wish she was in charge.
So that's what I'm saying. We need Marjorie Taylor Greene to speak up and decide what her platform is. And if she's going to be the new face or the young wave, she has to consider the entire party. And some people, yes, they do want to lean into another impeachment. But the majority of Americans are exhausted by this.
Here we go again. Next up on Rising, Stephen Miller reportedly fuming at ICE officials over their low deportation rates. We will discuss. Stay with us.